Swadika. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Monrada Yankasigon, First Secretary of the Royal Thai Embassy. We'd like to welcome everyone to the ASEAN China Bio-Circular Green Economy, or BCG, and Climate Action for the region at the Royal Thai Embassy. Before we begin, allow me to inform everyone of today's program, which will be divided into 4 parts. The first part will be the welcoming remarks from the representative of the Royal Thai Embassy and Center for China and Globalization. Second part will be keynote speakers, which we have the honor to welcome 2 experts. The third part will be panelist discussion under the topic of the key aspect to enhancing green and sustainable development between China and ASEAN. Okay, and the second topic will be under the topic of the challenges facing energy security and achievement of green technology and finance in the region. Followed by the fourth part, which is networking event, where we prepare Thai snack from Thai restaurant in Beijing, ready for you outside. With no further ado, allow me to welcome Mr. Benjamin Sukantanati, Charge d'Affaires of the Royal Thai Embassy in Beijing, to give the welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Excellency, Mr. Mike Liu, the Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization, Mr. Guo Chunwei, Director of the Trade and Investment Division of ASEAN China Center, Ms. Li Xie, the Director of International Environmental Cooperation Center of Ministry of Ecology and Environment of China, China ASEAN Environmental Cooperation Center, distinguished panelists, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. Swadika. On behalf of the Royal Thai Embassy in Beijing, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all participants attending today's ASEAN and China Dialogue on Bio-Circular Green Economy and Climate Action for the region to the Royal Thai Embassy. It gives me immense pleasure to open our embassy for a very meaningful event and see the diversity in today's participants, ranging from universities, think tanks, multinational companies, to media, banking and financial institutions, startups, as well as government sector. This truly reflects that the topic of environment and green economy is a pertinent issue to everyone. As the world is embracing the idea of balance and sustainable development, Thailand has been committed to the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and under the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind and the Global Development Initiative. This dialogue, initiated by the Royal Thai Embassy and co-hosted by the Center for China Globalization, together with Global Young Leaders Dialogue, aims to contribute towards effective, timely and actionable solutions to the climate change crisis that affects our region and the global community at large. My Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with the ongoing efforts worldwide for environmental protection and sustainable development, it has become acutely clear that major international efforts can help bolster cooperation against pollution, waste disposal, global warming, and all other international challenges like financial crisis, climate change, and global biodiversity loss. ASEAN as a region endowed with rich natural resources that sustain essential life support system, both for the region and the world. ASEAN is home to 20% of all known species on the world and is the center of the world marine biodiversity. Apart from providing water, food, and energy, these natural resources play an important role in sustaining a wide range of economic activities and livelihoods. Therefore, ASEAN has continuously made collective efforts in environmental protection through policy dialogues and harmonization, research, capacity building, technical assistance, scaling up, and application of good practices across ASEAN countries, and awareness raising. Through the leadership of the ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Environment, the ASEAN Senior Official on Environment, together with its thematic working group, and the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity, continue to identify and implement regional policies, measures, and programs to promote environmental protection and sustainable development. The ASEAN Senior Officials on Environment also promotes coordination, collaboration, and partnership with other ASEAN sectoral bodies, ASEAN Dialogue partners, international organizations, and relevant stakeholders. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in line with regional vision, Thailand is pursuing the bio, circular, and green or BCG economic model as the path to build back a healthier, greener, and more inclusive economy as the pandemic subsides, and to reinforce sustainability in our people-centered economic growth and development. At COP26, Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin of Thailand also pledged to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, where Thailand has also raised NDC's goal from 20% to 40% by year 2030. Thailand has been working tirelessly to transform this pledge into concrete action, as evident in our long-term low greenhouse gas emission development strategy. Recently, our Prime Minister launched the Thailand Vision 2030 to ignite Thailand with a view to driving the economy towards a more sustainable future. This includes the vision to become a future mobility hub by realigning our national energy plan, shifting the focus to energy efficiency, making a change in the transport sector, increasing EV production, and preparing to phase out coal-generated power. We also aim to become a financial hub in the Southeast Asia region by developing a sustainable carbon trading system, financial system, which will support the transition to the new era of sustainable finance. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the global community is interconnected and needs stronger international collaboration through shared institutions and economic growth paths that are resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. In this connection, Thailand will continue to working closely with all stakeholders to further enhance green economy and sustainable community. On a final note, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Center for China and Globalization, the Kasikorn Bank, the Banpu, China, ASEAN China Center, as well as our dearest friend from ASEAN embassies in Beijing for supporting today's event. I wish today ASEAN and China Dialogue on biocircular, green economy, and climate action for the region a great success, and hope our discussion will lead to more meaningful cooperation and a greener, inclusive, and sustainable world for the benefit of the peoples and our region. So thank you very much. 谢谢大家。
Okay, thank you, Mr. Benjamin. As today's event is also co-organized by the Center for China and Globalization, allow me to invite Mr. Mike Liu, Vice President of Center for China and Globalization, on stage to give a welcoming remarks, please.
Thank you so much for having us here, and also I would like to express our sincere appreciation, gratitude for Mr. Benjamin Sukanjaji, the Charge Affair Royal Thai Embassy, Mr. Go and Ms. Lee, and also the distinguished guests, speakers, friends, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to talk about is really take maybe 5 minutes to quickly go through and some initiatives, what we've seen, what we have done, what we can accomplish if the China and the ASEAN, we can team up, share our experience, and see how things we can work towards to share the mission for the shared future. So one of the things, if I really take a back, see the Chinese Premier, we talked during the Davos, the World Economic Forum, is we need the global cooperation so we can share our expertise and the knowledge and resources to bring a better world. So if I really look at what has been done in China last couple of years, if I look at in the 10 years, the clean energy consumption have been increased by 11%, and also coal consumption have been dropped by nearly 13%. Having said that, if we put in the context, the GDP, Chinese GDP during these 10 years, GDP have been increased by 121%. So that's a phenomenal achievement. GDP have been increased 121%, but the consumption of the coal have been dropped by 13%. And the other thing is look at the total installed capacity for the renewable energy have been achieved 50%. And by next year, I look at the new EV vehicle sales will probably be 50% of the vehicle sales in the year. So let's look at, having been said that, all the things the Chinese economy is going through a tremendous transformation, and the huge effort have been plugged into how to adapt to the reusable new energy vehicles as well as the initiatives. So I look at the one of things as CCG, we have been, advocating on some policies, some learnings, sharing the best practice with the experts, with the scholars, as well as what we have done also last year. Look at the little picture here. We have invited the Chinese former special envoy on climate, former and the current one, also along with the distinguished His Excellency ambassadors from US, from many other countries as well. It's really team up how we can collaborate and how we can discuss the find out the shared journey towards to these global climate challenges. So one of things, why I'm so happy to be here is that especially the global young leader, they are the future of the world. They are going to have a profound impact towards to the new lifestyle fundamentals of business society as well. I look at the Global Young Leader Initiative is one of key initiative launched by CCG. It's really advocating a green initiative, how we can bring back the whole society into the peaceful development as well as sustainability goals. So if I really put the summary things, I think we have done a lot of good things and really want to look forward to the session today, having our distinguished guest scholar and representative from all the organization to share the ideas, share learnings, so we should be able to, put our ideas, knowledge together to be able to, find our defined future. Thank you so much for having us here.
So Michael, distinguished participants, as today's seminar is focusing on not only Thailand and China, but also ASEAN and China as a region. Today we have the honor to welcome two experts as the keynote speaker. Allow me to welcome the first keynote speakers today, which is Mr. Guo Chuanwei. Excuse me if my pronunciation is not right. Mr. Guo Chuanwei is a former Deputy Director of Department of Asian Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation of the People's Republic of China. He also served as a counselor in Economic and Commercial Department in Iran and Turkey. Currently, he is serving as a director at Trade and Investment Division at ASEAN China Center. Everyone, please give a big hand to welcome Director Guo Chuanwei.
Honorable Mr. Benjamin Sukan Janati, Tragedy Office of the Royal Thai Embassy in Beijing, and colleagues of AMS embassies in Beijing. Honorable Mr. Michael Liu, Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization, dear delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my great pleasure to join you all at the Royal Thai Embassy in Beijing for the ASEAN-China bi-circular green economy and climate action for the region. First and foremost, on behalf of His Excellency Secretary General Shi Zhongjun of the ASEAN-China Center, please allow me to convey our sincere congratulations on the successful convening of this event. China and ASEAN are friendly neighbors bound by shared mountains and rivers. Our destinies are profoundly linked, and we stand as vital partners in tackling the existential challenges facing our region and the world. China has embraced the paradigm of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development, charting a path toward low carbon growth and emerging as an important force in global environmental governance, sustainable development initiatives, and climate change actions. These achievements have laid solid funds for deepened ASEAN-China cooperation in pursuit of sustainable development. Green development has always been a crucial area for ASEAN-China practical cooperation. President Xi Jinping and the leaders of ASEAN countries jointly announced the establishment of ASEAN-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and initiated the blueprint for building a peaceful, secure, prosperous, beautiful, and amicable nations for ASEAN and China. So this blueprint outlines a series of initiatives for the beautiful home to pursue green development cooperation, charting the course for ASEAN and China joint endeavors. Leaders of AMS and China consecutively designated 2021 and 2022 as the year of ASEAN-China cooperation on sustainable development, with ecological and environmental protection as a priority area, highlighting the significance attached to green and sustainable development. At the 25th ASEAN-China Summit in 2022, leaders adopted the joint statement on strengthening common and sustainable development, further consolidating the strategic consensus and promoting sustainable and high-quality development between ASEAN and China. The successful hosting of the ASEAN-China Dialogue on climate change and ecological environment, the Forum on Environmental Coordination, and the active promotion of the establishment of ASEAN-China Clean Energy Cooperation Center reflect the commitment to deepen regional cooperation on environmental protection and climate change. By the actively implementing the framework of ASEAN-China Environmental Cooperation Strategy and Action Plan 2021 to 2025, both sides have carried out many projects enhancing regional cooperation on environmental and climate change, and promoted deeper cooperation on green, low-carbon, and clean energy. Realizing the green transformation is a crucial element of ASEAN-China cooperation. As developing nations, China and ASEAN states share common goals, a solid foundation, and unique advantages in strengthening cooperation in green development. Promoting green transformation is an inevitable choice to achieve sustainable energy development. China and ASEAN will continue to deepen international cooperation in this field based on the principle of mutual benefit and win-win cooperation. The Southeast Asian countries located near equator and with numerous islands possess a vast potential for developing photovoltaic, wind, and water clean energy. China's clean energy technologies hold great practical significance for ASEAN countries. Over the past decade, China has cooperated with Cambodia, PDR, respectively, in building low-carbon demonstration zones, providing new energy vehicles, photovoltaic power station systems, environmental monitoring equipment, and other materials, conducting capacity building training, and jointly preparing programs for low-carbon demonstration zone construction. As for cooperation between Thailand and China in green energy, it is worth to mention the wind power project and new energy vehicles. Notable cooperation projects between the two countries include the wind power station in Chayapong and Silentong Dam Integrated Floating Body Photovoltaic Project. which have gained popularity in Thailand and have been integrated into the national power grid. With the encouragement of a new energy vehicle industry development and release of intensive policies related to the green industry in ASEAN countries, cooperations in these related fields brings new opportunities for ASEAN's development. Currently, Thailand is the largest market for new energy vehicle consumption in ASEAN countries. China's SAIC MG, Great Wall Motor, BYD, and other automakers have successfully invested and set up factories in Thailand, also becoming strong competitors in Thailand's pure electric vehicle market. Ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN China Center, or ACC for short, is an intergovernmental organization jointly established by the 10 ASEAN member states and China. The ACC aims to strengthen practical cooperation and people-to-people exchanges. In the past few years, the ACC also made its efforts in facilitating cooperation and exchanges between ASEAN and China in areas of green development. Such as in May 2023, the ACC and Huzhou Municipal Government co-hosted the ASEAN-China Conference on Sustainable Development Cooperation in Huzhou City, Zhejiang Province, where participants engaged in in-depth discussions and the theme of green development and win-win cooperation. In July 2022, the ACC co-hosted a familiarization trip for representatives of AMS embassies in Beijing to visit Qinghai Province, focusing on local clean energy development and green development practices. The ACC stands ready to play a greater role in promoting the cooperation and the development of a bi-circular green economy between ASEAN and China, and is willing to make joint efforts to address climate change and other global challenges. So in conclusion, I wish all esteemed guests could seize the opportunity presented by this dialogue to offer invaluable insights, exchange experiences, and forge a robust consensus on promoting development and cooperation in green and low carbon growth between ASEAN and China. So thank you. I wish you all a productive and enriching dialogue.
Thank you, Director. Our next keynote speaker, we have the honor to welcome Professor Xia Li. Allow me to introduce her briefly. Ms. Xia Li has over 20 years experience as an environmental economist research, and she has worked as a consultant and environmental economist expert in a number of studies for UNEP, UNICEF, and ADB. Oh. Right, yes. Currently, she is serving as the Director of International Environmental Cooperation Center. Please welcome Professor Xia Li.
Thank you so much. So maybe first of all, so I just want to thank you for these organizations, so to CCG and Thai MC. So I think this dialogue is very important. Popular fashion and the important topics. So in the so just besides the region level, so just this topic linking with the global challenges. So it's important. Maybe I think so. Just is my speaker. So on the keynote speech. Just by myself, I think it's a relaxed time, maybe an easy time, so we can open our mind, so to share some, just myself understand with us. So, of course, maybe first of all, I just want to, to to give our stance, so our mission. Who am I come from, right? So I come from the ASEAN China Environmental Cooperation Center, supported by the MEE, Environmental and Ecology Ministry of China. So of course it's the center, so ASEAN China Environmental Cooperation Center, so launched by the ASEAN countries, so with China together. So of course, so just by our long, maybe the short history, so just we have the 13 years old, maybe so like the young people, so just on the regional cooperation level. So now stage, so ASEAN China, we have the ASEAN China Environmental Cooperation Center, support this corporate strategy and action plan. So from the 2021 to the 2025, of course, so we have this strategy and action plan. First on the 4 components. For component 1, environmental policy, dialogue, and capacity building. Of course, like this seminar, the dialogue. So just so among the ASEAN countries and China, so we have the dialogues and the capacity building on the climate change, on the biodiversity, so on the marine litters and the plastics. So of course, component 2 is focusing on the sustainable cities and marine plastic reductions. Of course, just linking this topic, the BCG. Of course, so with the big scope on the BCG. Of course, so we think the BCG, so linking the climate action, climate change. Of course, linking with the plastic. Because the plastic is the new topics, so on the global level. So component 3 is climate change and air quality improvement. We know just in this region, transboundary haze, smoking haze, and maybe it's a very big challenge for the the ASEAN countries and China. So about this, how to to linking our climate adaptation action, so with the air qualities improvements action, how to do this. So of course, just the component 3. So we have some solutions and capacity building among the ASEAN countries and China. Component 4, biodiversity conservation, so and ecosystem management. We know just in this region, so ecosystem is our natural resources, and this BCG build economy, so it's the basement. How to do this? So how to linking, the natural-based solution. So linking the NBS with the climate change, linking the biodiversity conservation is the new and the important topics in this region. So just for this, so this our the roadmap. So on this, so I will open our presentations to you. So maybe we can fast. Okay. So it's a important section. Global and regional challenges. So now I have the question to you. Question 1. Just in ASEAN region, do you know in every year, so about the like the climate crisis challenging, climate crisis loss, how much about it? Maybe I will give you the 3 answers. A, how to say this? 10 million US dollars. B, 100 million US dollars. C, 200 million US dollars. You can maybe raise your hand. A, B, C. C? Every year. I. Maybe B. Do you know RSWB is please? Or C? C, right? You are wrong. It's because just by the UNEP's, the data, so just in this region, so about the climate crisis, the loss in every year, so reach on the 100 million US dollars now stage. So maybe just from this, from just the 2020 to 2030. So, but I must say, you are right also, it's right. So why? So because just in 2035, this data will be wrong, right? It will be reach on the, let's say this, 200 million US dollars. Just, you know, in 10 years. So it's the, you know, it's maybe it's our challenges. So now we know just on the global level, we have the climate change negotiation. You know, so last year, COP28, so just hosted in Dubai. Just in here, in this year, Azerbaijan, so will host the COP29. But next year is the key year, next year. So the ASEAN countries and China, so just in the world countries, so we will hold so our climate ambitious target on the NBC report to the COP. How to do this? So now stage, so just in this year in Azerbaijan, so you know, so just every country in the world, so just discuss how to do this, so how to show our climate ambitious. Of course, just by myself, so I have the question to maybe the two youngs. So we know just this workshop. So we have so many partners just enjoy today's seminar. So of course, besides the CCG, so of course just myself, I come from the Chinese government level. So from you know, so some guys, so from the you know the APSIS. So we must see. So Thai Board of Investment. So so maybe the wrong pronunciation. So Kasi Ho Bank. Maybe that's change the Chinese word, the agriculture bank of Thailand, right? So the bamboo investment of China. So many, you know, the private sectors. So the supported by the, you know, discuss the investment and climate finance, climate investment and climate finance. So just my question too is to you. Just in ASEAN countries, of course, 10 countries. So linking with China. So maybe we have the 11 countries just in this region. In every year, we need how you know, so how many more US dollars on the climate adaptation investment. Just maybe two answers to you. So just one, the 400 million US dollars is answer one. Answer two is B. B is the 800 million US dollars just in this region, in China and ASEAN countries. A or B? B, yes, you're right. So many, there's so many climate investment, so many, so it's just on the climate adaptation investment in this region. It's not energy transition investment. So just, we know just in here, maybe so many shortage in the world, in this region, on the climate change. Always side. So of course just linking the COP, the conversion. So some of the documents phased down or phased out, of some of the key words is to negotiation. So but how to attract too much the regional and provide sectors investment to support the developing countries to to fighting the climate change, but it's too too big challenges to us. Of course, it's just the climate change challenges. So next one, so the marine. So just by the monetary conversion progress. So this year, so the plastic conversion will be closed in this year. So supported by the UNEP. So about this plastic. So linking, the so many industry and the economic sections. So about this, so it's another big challenge is to the ASEAN and China. So we know, so just linking the plastic. So the China, so we have the plastic production. We have the number 3 in the global level. The number 1 is America. Number 2, Japan. Number 3 is China. So of course about the, the ASEAN countries, linking this, the plastic with marine, is that also the big challenges to our region level. So the third, the challenge is about the biodiversity. We know, so just for this, so we have the COP15. So just we have the Kunming, so linking to the Montreal, the declaration. So about this, so this on this target, just in 2030. So about this, just in ASEAN countries and China. So about this biodiversity finance. So this shortage reach on the is a very very big data. So the 1,000 billion US dollars on the biodiversity. So why about this biodiversity? So finance loss. This is the biggest challenge on the world, just in ASEAN countries and in China and another worse the countries. So about this, so because maybe some the finance sector, so investment sector, so want to discuss the climate action, but if you want to discuss the biodiversity action, so of course we will come, but no money, just on the private sector. So because about this is the real the big challenges in the world and in this region. So just linking our center, so we have the push, some of the regional actions with ASEAN countries together. So maybe it's like there's some action. So we have the flagship project. It's Project 1, Climate Innovation Network. So this flagship project, so we have the focus on the people to people. Of course, so just linking the natural-based solution, ASEAN China more growth conservation partnership. We know, so just in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and another ASEAN countries, so more growth. So just linking with the cities and the urban development. So many people just, the dependent on the more growth life. So, but just we push this flagship project with the ASEAN countries. So now we have the policy dialogue, so pillar of cooperation. So on the talent, so just in Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar. So we have just push the knowledge products. So the supported by the ASEAN countries, ASEAN Institute, and the Chinese together. Okay, yeah. So we know, so this today afternoon, so we have the panel discussion too. So on the young people focusing on climate change. Of course, so we just our centers, so we push the ASEAN China Climate Adaptation Flagship City Program. So we just want to, this set up this partnership network. So to push the, the cities level climate adaptation investment. So just this network. So we have the, this knowledge hub. So just to push, the climate adaptation knowledge is to share the ASEAN and China. So the investment sectors, so and the governmenters. So we have another flagship project too. Is the Global Green Value Chain Partnership. About this, so just we to push the ASEAN China pioneering partner in near zero emission cold chain logistics. So we know, so just in this year, so we will face on the big things. So just by the arrangement on the timeline, ASEAN and China FTA, the third version, so will be launched in this year. So about the, the climate change, addressing the climate change, and the, the net zero. So this near zero emission. So the productions and the services. So we'll involve into this FTA, the new FTA documents. So of course, just so linking the cold chain, so and the carbon footprint. So it's the new way, is a new phase way. So on this region, so to support it to this ASEAN China FTA. So of course, so. Maybe 2 small words. I can see by myself. So wow, you see this, you see the word. So maybe the Thai MC, so you can share our presentation to us. So just maybe 1 minute. So just my words want to respond to the BCG. Of course, linking this BCG, I think it is a really important solution in this region. So because we can separate this the new words, bio economy, circular economy, green economy. this will impart to the, how to say this, build energy transition, the green transition, green economy transition, and the low carbon transition. So this is very important. So of course, just by the BCG, I think so will to find out so our regional solutions to the developing countries, to the non-developing countries. Is because about this, so we can to build up so our methodology, the regional methodologies on the climate change, climate action, climate finance, climate investment. So of course linking the low carbon solutions. So on the energy transition, so on the agriculture, the food safety. So I think so it's a very great scoping to us. So to give the governmenters so and the other provider sectors so give us so how to use this BCG so we can to BCG the bridge so to on the so between the low carbon economy and the green economy. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Alicia, for a very informative session. Unfortunately, we have limited time. Those interested in receiving her PowerPoint can contact me after this event. Next, we have the expert panelists. Today, we have representatives from different sectors, ranging from government, banking, think tank, universities. So I will first begin with our first discussion panels. Allow me to introduce moderators for today's senior panels. We have Mr. John Zhanjie, who is the Director of External Relations of Center for China and Globalization. He's also a Program Manager of Global Young Leaders Dialogue. He holds a Master in International Culture and Communications, and he worked at the Overseas Scholar Center in Beijing before. Please let me give the floor to John, please.
Thank you, Rita, and thank you for your team for so many days hard working for prepare this panel. And so since we are already behind the schedule, we would like to invite all our four distinguished panelists to the stage. The first one is Dr. Subi, the Special Advisor to the Vice President, Office of the Vice President, Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, please. The second one is Ms. Tana, Investment Promotion Officer of Senior Professional Level of Investment Promotion Bureau, CERD, please. And the third one is Ms. Nadia, the Economic Minister Counselor of Indonesia, please. The first one is Dr. Michelle, the postdoctoral research fellow of China University of China. Please. Yeah, please have a seat. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we can share the microphone later. Share the mission and share microphone. Yeah, it's very great to have communication with I think four beautiful ladies, and actually I'm the director of external relations of CG, and but also the manager of Global Young Leaders Dialogue. So I'm actually intend to host the second panel, but I think it's important to balance the gender here, and yeah, I think it's good to say the young women in leadership in climate change area, in green development area. I think it's the women can take the advantage of their inclusiveness, their understanding, on this area. So without further ado, I would like to give a open of this panel. Just as our keynote speaker and the opening remarks people said, in 2022, China and the ASEAN country have a joint statement on the Sustainable Development Cooperation, and this year is also the year of people-to-people exchange, of year of China and the ASEAN, and I think the sustainable development would be a very important topic for this people-to-people exchange. And I think in this joint statement, the last term is to encourage the think tank from both areas to bring the bridge and to strengthen the capacity building on this area. And in the in the second last term, it encouraged the World Bank, the AIB to provide the financial support in this area. So today we are very honored to have a panelist from AIB, but I know you also have a long experience in the World Bank before. So before we talk about the key aspects to enhancing the green and the sustainable development between China and ASEAN, I would like to invite you to maybe give a whole picture of this topic, which is why it's important for ASEAN countries to stressing on the sustainable development. And also, we definitely know, China, maybe US, EU is important to the world's sustainable development. But how is ASEAN countries' importance to the whole world's sustainable development? Yeah, please.
Thank you very much. I think for this topic, I would like to maybe say it in two dimensions. The first dimension is the technical or technology dimension. The second dimension will be the regional ASEAN plus one, ASEAN plus China dimension. I think on the technology dimension, everybody here in this room, I'm sure that you are into, believe in that action needs to be taken for something to make the world more sustainable, to really cope with the problem with climate change. I think everybody. So I don't need to get into that. But I want to say the concept of BCG, just quickly talk about concept of BCG. Concept of BCG is talking about how to live harmoniously with nature, because nature replenishes itself. But what the mankind is doing in the last 200 years after the Industrial Revolution, the mankind become a consumer of all the natural resource of the world. And the natural resource of the world is not everything replenishable. So I think the thinking behind the BCG is how to make it, that's why it's called biocircular. Why biocircular? How you can make it a cycle that just like in nature that you consume water, but water go back to cloud and cloud come back to be rain and then water. So those kind of circular is the nature. But humankind, when you dig out coal, when you take petroleum, you take everything, is no replenishment. But how mankind can come to the circular of replenishment. There are so many discussions in terms of technique, in terms of modality of time, how to do it. One modality is talking about how can you use the waste of one product to be the input of another product. So that is talking about waste to energy, right? And Van Bu is here, so maybe you are into those. And those are working on energy, working on wind farm, solar. This is how to make a waste of one product to be an input of another product. Another thinking in this, I talk about the modality and the thinking and the technique behind the thinking is that the second one is talking about performance economy. What is performance economy? Is how to extend the life of product. For example, the car is produced to be used only for 10 years. how can you produce a car that can be used for 30 years? So the waste can be less, right? And also another model of thinking of performance economy is that how are you going to use the car that is already finished the life of the car, come back to be producing another new car. So this will actually, if the world move into that, I have to say, if the world move into that, the consumption pattern will be different. Nobody will buy car. Everybody will lease car. Just like right now, the big organization, in the World Bank, they don't buy computer for the staff, they don't buy notebook for the staff. AIIB don't buy notebook for the staff, but they lease notebook. They lease notebook from the company to give it to staff, and when the life of the notebook is end, you go back to the vendor and say, you give me the new notebook. So the performance economy will go into that, dictate the new pattern of consumption. So that's the technology. Now I want to also talk one more about technology, and this comes into region. The technology is that now you talk a lot more about wind farm, about solar farm, about rooftop solar, about all those kind of things, in order to make sure that you live more with nature. And I have to say, when you talk about China announced the net zero economy at 2030, now I think that is 2050. Thailand talk about net zero economy 2060, now 2070. Net zero means net zero and not zero peak, not carbon peak. China will have carbon peak 2030. That is China, carbon peak, and after carbon peak, carbon have to go down and to be net zero. Thailand or even ASEAN talk about net zero farming. Is it something that you can just talk? No, you need to take action. And the action will involve technology. Where is the technology? That's why we can have to talk about knowledge and technology exchange with China and with other countries. So why China is so important? Now come back to ASEAN China, I'll be very quick. ASEAN China, I have to say that the world today, I see that, and I can foresee that China become more important, more and more. It's already very important. China is already very important to ASEAN, but more important. And ASEAN will become even more important to China with the world today, because the trade war, because of all the limitation of China to export anything to Europe and to US, getting more and more tough. So China needs to turn into other market, and other market, other collaboration will be ASEAN, because when you think about these 10 countries in ASEAN, it's small, but it is 50% of China. Why I say 50% of China? ASEAN has collective population of 680 million, let's say roughly 700. China population is 1.3, 1.4 billion. Is that not 50%? So this is not a small market that China can look over without giving importance. So ASEAN still need to stick together to form a big bargaining power with China. And I think that it's not just a market, but it can be an investment ground when you talk about EV, when you talk about solar cell, because the solar cell, who export, the #1 exporter of solar cell in the world, that is China. But China get a limitation of export solar cell into Europe, into the US, because of Xinjiang issue. So where to produce it in order to be able to export and continue to export? ASEAN. ASEAN will be the place. So I think I will stop there to just open that. Why technology is important in BCG, why ASEAN is important in this topic of discussion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Subi, and I think you gave a very important points on why we should take action, because especially strengthen the China and the ASEAN cooperation on this. Not only the BCG, I think it's Thailand wisdom pattern for the consumption, for the economy, but also the ASEAN TIC, it's a very big market. Not only the consumer cannot ignore, but also the investors cannot ignore. So next question I want to give to Ms. Tana about in your capacity as the Minister Counselor of Thailand Board of Investment in Beijing, and what is the specific investment opportunities do you see for Chinese investors in green and sustainable projects in Thailand and even the ASEAN countries? Because I kind of see the news, China's companies already, plan to invest some projects in Thailand. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Because I'm from the investment promotions agency, so I will focus on the investment promotion policy on the BCG business. First of all, as you mentioned that, as you mentioned that now at the present, Chinese company is the number one investor in Thailand for 2 years, 2022 and 2023. First of all, I would like to share the reason why Thai government set the BCG as our economic model. Thailand is in the tropical zone and has a very high biodiversity. Thailand was ranked in top 10 in the world for the agricultural product and the bio-based product. For example, being the largest cassava exporter, being the second largest sugar exporter, the second largest bioplastic producer, and the number 9 for the biodiesel producer. And together with the well-developed infrastructure and high-quality workforce in Thailand, so it makes Thailand to be the investment destination for the industry that use the bio-based product as the raw material. For example, the bioenergy, the biochemicals, the biopharmaceutical, as well as the food processing. So the Thai government has adopted the BCG economic model as the national agenda and the guideline for economic development. It is expected that the BCG will be the main economic base of Thailand, generating 4.4 trillion baht, or accounting for 24% of our GDP in 2027. And we also aim to be the BCG hub of ASEAN. And we also would like to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal that's set by the United Nations. And for the Thailand Board of Investment, or the BOI, as a government agency that responsible for the investment promotion, both investment into Thailand and Thai overseas investment, we also set the BCG as our strategic sectors for investment promotion. There are more than 50 BCG activities that eligible for BOI promotion, including the agricultural product, the biopharmaceutical, biochemicals, the new energy from the renewable resources, for example, wind energy, solar energy, the energy from waste, from biomass and from biogas. We also promote the waste management and recycling business as well, and others business. Among those green business, I would like to highlight on the electric vehicle industry that the Thai government set as the one mechanism that will drive our country to achieve the goals of the carbon neutrality in 2050 and net zero in 2065. We have the policy that we call 30 at 30, which means we aim to have the production of the EV at least 30% of the total car production in our country within 2030. And BOI as the investment promotion agency, so we launched the package to promote the EV manufacturing in Thailand. And the EV package that we promote, including the two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, bus and truck. We also promote the EV battery and other EV components and parts, and also promote the charging station and battery swapping station. So it shows that we promote the whole chain of the EV. Together with the support measure from the Ministry of Finance, including the monetary support of cash subsidy up to 100,000 baht per unit, and the reduction of the import duty and the excise tax with a special excise tax rate. So this measure, the BOI measure and the Ministry of Finance measure, this can attract the many leading car makers to invest in Thailand, and including the Chinese leading car makers such as the BYD, the SAIC, the Chang'an, and Great Wall Motor, and the latest one is the GAC Ion also already decide to invest in Thailand. And for the package or the investment promotion package that we provide for the investor include the tax and non-tax incentive. The tax incentive include the corporate income tax exemption up to 13 years, depends on the level of the technology to be used in the supply chain and to be used in the project and the roles in the supply chain. 50% reduction of the CIT, the exemption of the import duty on the machinery need to be imported to Thailand to install in the project. And we also grant the import duty exemption on the raw material used for export purpose and for R&D purpose. And to facilitate the investor to set up their business in Thailand, we also grant the non-tax incentive to the investor that include the right to, that the foreigner can have 100% foreign ownership. The right to own land, as you know that the foreigner cannot own the land in Thailand, but under the BOI promotion, the promoted company can own the land in order to operate the promoted project. And we also provide visa and work permit for the foreign experts and foreign executive to stay and work in the promoted project as well. And that's all that the measure and the incentive that we provide for the investor. And from our investment promotion statistic since 2015 to September last year, we found that the investment in the BCG business increased significantly and rapidly with the more than 3,700 projects with the value of investment more than 22.4 billion US dollar. So it shows that there's more opportunity for the investor in this BCG business. Last but not least, I want to take this opportunity to reaffirm that Thailand is highly considered as the investment destination for not only for the BCG business but also other industry as well. With the second largest economy in ASEAN, and we also have the strategic location because we are in the center of ASEAN. So the economic powerhouse, major economic powerhouse can be accessed easily with our world-class transportation infrastructure. And in addition to the high biodiversity that is our core competitiveness, we also have the readiness of the supporting industry and a very strong supply chain, especially in the BCG business. And we have the 14 FTAs with trading partners including the RCEP, that will create more opportunity for trade and investment in the region. We also have, we also have the high quality workforce and very business-friendly environment. So we welcome all the investors from every part of the world to invest in Thailand, and there are many opportunities for investment waiting for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Tana. And actually, the third question goes to another important country in ASEAN area, and also I think Tana mentioned a lot of policy to encourage the investors to come to ASEAN countries. But I think on the other hand, they should, have some regulatory to make sure the investment is sustainable, is eco-friendly. So I'd like to ask Ms. Nadia, what is the key policy recommendation you would propose to address challenges related to regulatory frameworks and economic cooperation between China and ASEAN countries? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John, for the question. So first of all, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to the Royal Thai Embassy and the CCG for hosting this very important event. In regards of your questions about regulatory frameworks, I think this is much related to the establishment of rule, practices, or even specific policy. We've heard from our two keynote speakers about what the ASEAN and China have already done. So many, I think, so many joint statements, so many framework and policy has been agreed together between ASEAN and China. And so I think now all this target needs to be translated into a clear plan and policies that can encourage more investments and can create more policy to encourage this sustainable development. So on this note, I think I would like to share, four important points that maybe China and ASEAN can work together in the future. Of course, the first one is about how we can push for a more green and investment and green infrastructure cooperations between ASEAN and China. As maybe you all know that China is, of course, one of the largest investors in many of ASEAN countries, and I'm sure there is still room for improvement in which Chinese investors can also play a crucial role, not just in terms of developing EV, but also maybe in developing more cleaner and greener power plant. So I think that's also things that we can consider. And the second one is, of course, related to sustainable agriculture. As you know that I think in ASEAN, agriculture is a very important sectors, and of course China has many successful projects or stories regarding how to make an agriculture friendly in terms of climate action. And in this thing, I think ASEAN country can also learn about it. And then the third one, I think, is related to how we can have a shared experience about carbon trading. As you know, carbon trading has various degrees of applications in many ASEAN countries. So as a region, we understand that it's important to harmonize our action, but of course, we cannot deny that there are different positions of each country. So sharing experience, about this issue, I think is also very important. And the fourth, but not least, I think is how gaining public support for the issues of sustainable development is very important. As this year marked the ASEAN-China Years of People to People, so I think the connection is not just about building cultural development, but also how we can gain public support from ASEAN and China in terms of sustainable development. I think that's my point.
Thank you, Ms. Dia. I think you point to four important points. Green infrastructure and sustainable agriculture and carbon trading and public support. I think it's very important key aspects. And I would like to talk about it further, but we do not have much time. I think that the first question I give to Michelle, and actually I see the Michelle profile. She's profile is very interesting, and she is actually across the academic but also the business. So my question is, could you highlight some key research or industry collaborations between the China and ASEAN nations that have led to the development of innovative energy technologies or some sustainable practice, please?
Okay, thank you for the excellent question, and also I would like to thank you for hosting this meaningful event. As a representative of the Embassy of Malaysia, I feel very honored to be the panelist of this dialogue. And as well as we all know that the Road Belt initiative means a lot to Asian's nation, and just now the experts have discussed a lot regarding the Thailand and other region. And from my perspective, I will be focusing on the Malaysian one. Let me share some cases. First of all, as demonstrated by the significant China-Laos railway that has been operated in 2021, this railway approach not only set a benchmark for the green infrastructure project, but also attracted green investment. So based on this basis, actually in Malaysia, the East Coast Rail Link project also under construction. Once the project is completed, it actually can link to the east and west coast, connecting and improving the level of interconnectivity of the state, of the Malay Peninsula state, which contribute to the sustainable development in the region. Second, as we all know that China has produced more than 80% of solar panels and also more than 70% of the battery storage over the world. So in these cases, actually Malaysia has beneficial from the investment from the LNG, green energy from ASEAN, China. Up to that, the China company has invested more than 10 billion RMB in Malaysia in order to develop the photovoltaic industry technologies. And for the significant one, the first vertical integrated monocrystalline silicon solar manufacture actually is based on Malaysia. So because of this company has been invested in Malaysia, so we are very thankful for the BRI initiative, and also beyond the local economy. In fact, this initiative has actually helped Malaysia to aspiration to become the leader of the Southeast Asia in the sustainable development and to pioneer comprehensive decarbonization within the region. Thirdly, not to mention that the CCUS and hydrogen storage, which has become more and more important in the Asian country in order to venture into the energy transition. So as an important choice for countries along the BRI, some large energy companies in Thailand, I know that they have invested the hydrogen market a lot, and is estimated to more than $26.1 billion in 2030. So other than that, in Malaysia again, actually our country is very focusing on the hydrogen energy transition. We want to build the hydrogen energy transportation project, and in that case, Fushan Feiqi and also CRRC Zhuzhou Electronic have provided us the hydrogen bus and also the train for the demonstration project. So we're very thankful for this kind of initiative. And for the second question is to enhance the collaboration, right? So I think it's the current visa-free policy between China and certain country has deepened the development on the trade and business. not only that, it actually attracts the talents. I think that we know that why China can become a world leader in the renewable energy sector in a very short time, because they invest a lot of money on the funding, on the research, and at the same time they also very focused on cultivating the young people. So from the perspective of the researcher, I think we really need to focus on the joint cultivation on the application-oriented talents. For this basis, actually, we have some research and institution, and also the industry. We have cooperation, such as the program of ENSO. The ENSO name is the Alliance of Science and Organization, and this actually can help the universities research between the China and ASEAN, especially on the cross-border collaboration on the project. So on this basis, the young people actually is the key pillar of the nation, and we really look into it to elaborate more project under BRI, and also the young talents can broaden their mindset and also to have a global perspective on this sector. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Michelle. You mentioned the young people. Our next panel, I think, will talk about this more. But I promised 2 rounds. But since we only can have a very brief second rounds, and my question is to all of you. Next session we will have a young leaders panel, and next we will have a networking. So I would like to invite you give because we definitely have many key aspects between our 2 areas on green development. So what is your best focus areas you looking forward to have the insights from other peoples, and looking forward to have more exchange on this aspect? Maybe one sentence.
Okay, if you want me to say anything that is wrapping, that I see very important to say here is that money is not important in this case, but the decisive decision of the government or private sector in evolution ourselves into another field of high-end technology is more important. If you have a good project idea, money is always there. I see it. You have many bankers here. I am myself is a banker. We never refuse any good project. Money is not an issue. But the decision making of decision maker is very slow sometimes. So that is my wrapping up.
Thank you, thank you.
So only one sentence, right? Think of investment, think Thailand. If you need more information about investment in Thailand, I'm welcome you to have a discussion after this session. Thank you.
Okay, so for me, of course, 2 sentences, if I can. First one is, of course, our target must be translated into a concrete policy. That's the first one. And the second one, of course, myself as a representative of Indonesian Embassy, I'm very much welcome to have a networking and to hear from you next time. Thank you.
From my perspective and for the wrapping of this section, I think the young people is the key pillar of the nation for the future, and we should work together in order to achieve more. Yes.
Thank you. And looking forward to our next.
Okay, while we are adjusting the shares, allow me to introduce the next moderator. Please welcome Ms. Soon, the Research Fellow at CCG, please.
Thank you so much. And maybe another round of applause for our first panel, which contributed to how well China and ASEAN can cooperate. So, just a moment for that. The second panel, as my colleague John already mentioned, is about youth, the Global Young Leaders Dialogue. And one of the initiatives we have at CCG is the Global Young Leaders Dialogue, where we prioritize how younger generations, in partnership with people with experience, can come to a better consensus on how we collectively address the sustainable development goals and the challenges we face. And today's topic is no exception. This panel will focus on the challenges facing energy security and the achievement of green technology and finance in the region. And one of the priorities for today's discussion is how can we promote effective multilateralism? How can we as countries together work on the challenges that we as a global community have admitted and that are a priority for all of us, which is human development. So this is going to be a priority for the second panel. Let me warmly welcome our speakers. Firstly, we have Dr. Vichai Norangwanich, First Senior Vice President, Kasi Kodnak Bank, PCL. Let's welcome. We also have with us Ms. Chang Xiangdi, member of Global Shapers Community, Beijing Hub 2. Welcome. Ms. Lim Jiale, President of Tsinghua University Student Association of China ASEAN Cooperation. Welcome. Ms. Yang Zhou, Project Lead, China Regional Transition, Agora Energy Wind. Welcome. And Mr. Puen Pramodimrai, Director of Strategic Planning and Analysis, Banpu, China. Welcome. So unlike, firstly, I think we can pass the mics on. Unlike the first panel, I will apologize in advance. There will be one intervention per speaker. Maybe because we have divided the topic in different subtopics based on your individual expertise. So what I will advise to all of our speakers so that we can wrap up in time to have a very vibrant networking session later is to maybe give 1 to 2 minutes of an overall introduction about what your organization is doing, what you're committed to, and then secondly, spending maybe 3 to 4 minutes on the specific question for each of you. So firstly, Dr. Vichai Narummanich, for you, I mean, the focus that we would like to, in terms of enabling China-ASEAN collaboration on energy security, is on policy and regulation. So firstly, if you can give an introduction of your organization and then maybe talk a bit about what are the key policy and regulatory challenges currently hindering the adoption of green technology and finance in the China-ASEAN region, and also how can governments collaborate to overcome these challenges?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the Royal Thai Embassy and the CCG for inviting K-Bank for this session. It's our honor to be able to provide humble opinions for this session.
Is the PowerPoint working?
K-Bank has been operated for nearly 80 years in Thailand. We are the second largest in terms of loan and deposit in Thailand. One of the key strategies for us is to expand to the regional expansion. We operated in 8 countries at the moment, focusing on digital platform and also regional partnership. We aim to be ESG leader of Southeast Asia, whereby we try to walk the talk on 3 aspects. First, on our own operation. Second is on the green financing. And third is on beyond banking to help our customers to transition to lower carbon economy. through the partnership and knowledge sharing. And this is our net zero commitment, whereby we have 3 big commitments. First, we will become net zero on our own operation by 2030, and we committed to provide sustainable finance up to 200 billion Thai baht from 2021 to 2030. And the last one is we try to become net zero in our loan portfolio by 2065, along with Thailand aspiration. And this is our performance in on operation. We try to walk the talk. And in terms of green finance, we have been hitting our target for the last 2 years. And this year, we aim to achieve 100 billion Thai baht. And we believe that we are on track to achieve our commitment to 200 billion Thai baht. And also, we not only aim to just provide sustainable finance, we aim to decarbonize our loan portfolio. And this is one example of the power generation, whereby we try to reduce emission intensity of our portfolio, along with the Thailand aspiration. And so far, we are a little bit ahead of our plan. And this is what we have done in terms of the green financing and green decarbonization to achieve our objective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe if we do have time afterwards, we can delve deeper into what are the challenges, what other organizations or stakeholders can do to overcome those challenges. Next, Zhang Xiangdi. Let's focus more on the investment and financing aspect. What do you see, based on your work experience and exposure in the region and beyond, what are the current opportunities in sustainable investment for renewable energy projects in the China-ASEAN region? And also, how do you think young professionals can be further motivated to address these challenges, to choose careers where they become part of the solution?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us today, Thai Embassy, and the folks who are putting this panel together. My name is Xiangdi, Emily Zhang, and I'm from the Global Shapers community in Beijing. And before diving into the great question, I just want to give my community a shout out and let you guys know more about what young people and young professionals are doing on the ground here in Beijing. So Global Shapers is a youth-led NGO born out of the World Economic Forum, and we currently operate in hubs around the world, and globally there are 80 hubs. And each shaper worked on initiatives that impact the local community. For example, in Beijing, we have sustainability-related projects like Movers and Shapers, where we go into hiking trips on a monthly basis to pick up trash, and also bring together like-minded young people to talk about what they can do for their own communities or universities on the campus level. And second of all, we also have another program similar to a clothes swap, which promotes circular economy, which is really related to the topic of today's panel. So if you're interested yourself as a student, or you have nieces, nephews who are still in school and under the age of 30 and who are eagerly to get involved with Beijing community, please find me after this session. I would love to show you more about our community. And then I think going into Zun's question, right? What we are doing, we're actually setting an example of what could be done in an investment sphere as well. So what I would call this as the 2-point strategies, which is one is 向内求, or internal reflection, and second of all, 走出去, going overseas. And I will elaborate on how we do this. We've done this and how that is a parallel to the investment practices that I do for my professional work. So first of all, I think in order to harness harness effective collaborations, we first have to understand what is the actual need. And I'm gonna give 2 examples that's highly relevant to the ASEAN region and as well as China. First is consumer products. And just by a show of hands here, who loves durians? Who loves durian? 榴莲，有没有榴莲爱好者在这里 ？OK， 有没有人喜欢木薯？I think the English name is cassava. I want to say 木薯。Cassava, right? Did I say that right? Anybody a lover of cassava? 木薯是一个可以做成糖水吃，是一个 dessert. Very popular in Southeast Asian countries, which I also had the pleasure of having during my most recent visit to Thailand last Christmas. So the reason why I want to bring up these 2 products is number 1, people just love food. I'm a big foodie myself, and as many young people, I think food brings us together. It doesn't matter what languages we speak and where in the world we come from. And as soon as we say like, oh, let's go grab some food, and I think that's something that we can all relate it on. But most importantly, I think these 2 products has a lot of economic benefits as well. So for example, in terms of 榴莲, or the very famous Thai species is 芒头金枕头榴莲. And it's not only a great delicacy to enjoy, but also it has the fiber in it could be extracted to make sustainable and green clothing and fabrics, textile. So this is something has been done in many universities across the world, and they're bringing down the cost of textile industry and making it really making renewable or sustainable clothing not just a dream but a reality. And I think amongst just the synergies amongst young people, we would love to pay for a product made by fiber from durian. I think that's number one, a very great investment opportunity there. And second of all, 木薯. So that brings a very interesting topic into biofuel. Right? 木薯, according to my research, is that it could be through technology and innovation could actually produce 乙醇, ethanol, and then could be stored in a very special tank that could travel around the world, and in turns making the cost of energy more effective and more efficient around the ASEAN region. So those 2 things are very regional focused, but they also have a global, regional and global impact. I think those are the 2 opportunities that I definitely want to mention first, and I hope that resonate with the rest of you 榴莲 lovers and 木薯 lovers out there. So those are the things where 向内求, right, looking inward and then going overseas, because these things, number 1, there's a huge market in China. There's a huge consumption needs. There's like 1.4, approaching 1.5 billion of us here already. And I think there's undeniable a great market value in producing and continue to export these products to China. And second of all, the technology here. There's a lot of room for collaborations amongst young people, whether they're doing PhD or master program or even undergrad, right? They can get involved in becoming a solution of a future problem. And third of all, the last panelist mentioned that when you have a great idea, money is not really the issue, which I didn't believe when I first got involved with finance, pivoting from a policy background. But I think after 4 years of working in China, going through like the Big Four, brokerage, and now in BC, that's something I firmly believe in. If you do have a great idea and you know how to tell a story, money is never an issue. Money will be flying to your doors. And I think that also echoes in the joint effort in all of the countries betting on the future of this generation. So I think in this conversation, right, the circular bioeconomy, what China can provide and the Chinese youth can provide is a lot of the tech, communications, collaborations, and market consumption and market consumer insights. And all together, what we hope to see the 前辈们 do is to really support us, not just by financially, right, but also in spirit and also by action, showing us the way, right, making connections. I think that's all in all together we can make multi-generational collaboration happen in this region. And personally speaking, investment is the business of positivity.
So I'm very positive about the future of this region, and I would love to. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. That was an inspiring intervention. I think it also speaks volumes about the importance of platforms that bring not just youth, but individuals across countries together to envision solutions that are inclusive. So thank you for that. I think, again, we'll have a networking session to delve more deeply into the points that you have already discussed. Now, Lim Chia, you are from Tsinghua University. You're also the president of the China ASEAN Student Association. You have been actively involved in climate change and action, the inclusion of youth in that process, and you were also in Dubai recently at the COP28. So my question to you is more about, based on your expertise, technology transfer and innovation. How do you think technology transfer and innovation can facilitate the collaboration between China and ASEAN on this front? And how can these countries accelerate the development and deployment of green technologies? A few ideas from your side. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Jala, and today I serve as the president of ASEAN representative president of Tsinghua University Student Association of China and ASEAN. So I'm from Malaysia, and I received my bachelor degree in chemical engineering in Tsinghua University, and now I'm a master's student in engineering management in also Tsinghua. So this is my 5th year here in China. And for me myself, I start my everything on China ASEAN journey from TUCA, the association. So I would like to share something about what we have done in TUCA. And our association mandated by the Office of International Affairs, and it is a platform to help Tsinghua students to understand the issue about China and ASEAN. And currently our core members are around 60 of them, and half of them from China and the rest of them from ASEAN countries. And we are the association that we want to know about more China and ASEAN context. And for example, last semester, last November, I think we get a chance to visit ACC. We have a very fruitful conversation with them, and also to understand more about ASEAN country, we organized a trip to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore to investigate the green development in these countries under the Belt and Road Initiative. So, okay. So during our trip, we are from China and ASEAN students. We get a chance to engage with the ASEAN Secretariat, Indonesia University, and the Indonesian Ministry of Overseas Investment, Malaysia Iskandar Investment, and also like Singapore and US University. So after having in-depth discussion with them, we conclude that most ASEAN countries are at the initial stages of embracing green technology, but facing challenges due to the gaps in infrastructure and development. So there's a significant need for investment in digital infrastructure, transportation, and energy to enhance the internet accessibility and also the sustainability of transport and energy system. And also, we have the chance to visit some factory, and we found that the talent is the most important thing that in the situation now, because like we feel like they face some challenges, like the workers there and the China talents here, like they couldn't have a very good wish to contact with each other, because like maybe the workers there, they couldn't understand because of language and because of culture. So they face this kind of problem, and therefore our youth today, like I am Malaysian and study in China, and we are the important role in the future development. So this is what we found in our trip. And also as a young individual, I often wondering like I'm just a girl. Can I really have something influence the future, influence the like the climate action? So I found my answer at COP28, and it was a privilege to see UNYLDP, United Nations Youth Leadership Development Program, collaborate with our association to COP. We had a team to COP28 in UAE, and at the Expo City, we have the opportunity to approach with the leaders there in different international organizations and also the companies there. And to my surprise, I was very shy at first, but they really welcome our presence there. And when they know we are from ASEAN countries, and at the same time we study in China, they give us a very good, I can say like a big. They give us a very good encouragement to us. And I remember one of the female bank executives who warmly welcomed me and also my partners. She expressed her admiration for young people like us who are concerning about the global issue. And also she encouraged us not to be daunted by the magnitude of our action, even though it is just a small step. So after my journey to COP28, I was so inspired, and also like it pushed me to have the dream to work in international organization in the future. So after returning back from COP28, a lot of my friends, they asked me, Jalo, how do you get into this kind of conference, international forums like this? And thanks again to TUCA and also UNYLDP for giving us the chance to get into that conference. And also I believe that the demand of for the students who want to go to the conferences and forums is much more greater than the supplies, the opportunities here. So I also have a problem. I also have a question to the organization. To the organizer today, like if the organizer today have any program or like any chances to the young talent that we can join some conference or forums in the future. This is my question. And I hope like more organization and program like UNYLDP, GYLD can support and leverage our young talent, offering more backing on this kind of important issue.
Thank you so much. That was a very moving intervention. I think one of the key aspects is that young people should feel more confident. There is, as you said, more demand than ever before. I mean, increasingly you see organizations, international organizations, today as well. I mean, look at the senior experts present here, interested in knowing the perspectives and the contributions of young people. And also a lot of the people in the audience are from continents, regions across the world. They're members of the Global Young Leaders Dialogue. Today is an example of the kinds of opportunities we hope to be able to co-create with our partners to have young people's voices heard and to be more relevant. So thank you. Next question is for Yang Zhou. Again, we have about maybe 4 to 5 minutes per intervention. Just a quick reminder. Yang Zhou, in the context of the importance of infrastructure and grid integration. I mean, these technical aspects are very important. What do you think? Currently, the infrastructure and grid integration gaps and challenges are, and how can scaling of renewable energy be achieved by China ASEAN by addressing these particular gaps? And how can stakeholders collaborate to overcome while ensuring energy security and stability? 4 to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. So I would like to introduce my organization first. I'm from Agora Energy Transition China. Our organization is an international energy transition think tank with a headquarters in Germany. We have an office in Beijing and another office in Bangkok. We also have partners in Thailand, in Vietnam, and Indonesia, working on power sector decarbonization, industry decarbonization, and co-region transitions. So to your first question, one general challenge for ASEAN countries is actually lies in the policy side, because there is inconsistency between the climate ambition and the existing current policies. As we all know, many key Southeast Asian countries have committed to reach climate neutrality by the middle of the century. However, the current progress of renewable development is not enough to support this climate ambitions. So from the current data, for example, except for Vietnam, in Southeast Asian countries, most of the countries, the share of wind and solar renewable in the total generation is less than 6%, and for Vietnam is 13%. So the first challenge about the infrastructure is the deployment of more renewable energy. From Agora's study, there's a data for all the Southeast Asian countries to reach its climate ambition. By 2030, all the Southeast Asian countries should supply 30% of its power by wind and solar. So you can see there's a big gap. And individually, I have some data here for Thailand and then Indonesia. By 2030, these two countries will need to add 8 to 14 gigawatts every year of solar power. And for Vietnam, it needs to add 10 gigawatts of solar PV per year. And for onshore power, Vietnam has the highest wind potential in the Southeast Asia, and it will need to add average 4 gigawatts of onshore power every year until 2030. So in this case, we would need sufficient financial sources with very diverse resources, and also effective subsidy mechanisms, and of course, faster and efficient permitting process. And the second challenge, similar to what China has experienced, is the flexibility of the power system. I would take the power outage problem in Vietnam as an example. Happened last year. It caused by multiple factors, for example, the unexpected droughts, and also the unexpected very high power demand, and also the expensive coal prices. But in general, what's behind it is it's a structural dilemma. We can see in the energy sector, we call it impossible energy trinity or impossible energy triangle. That goes to the energy sustainability, affordability, and accessibility. It would be more pronounced for developing countries, like in China, the Southeast Asian countries. This problem goes further with its growing demand for energy. So we would see that this problem is pretty common, and it's inevitable, no matter in China, in Southeast Asia, or even in Europe. You can see the energy crisis it went through in the last few years. But all of these accidents or crises, we didn't see much significant influence on their long-term climate ambition. So we would see that these crises or accidents could be a good sign to find, to expose the problems that you encountered on the way to a greener future. And from the grid side, lack of capacity of transmission is a key bottleneck. Although the cost of renewables has been dropped significantly, the upgrade of power grid would require a large amount of money and a long time. So, for example, in Vietnam, every 1 gigawatt additional solar or wind will require 0.28 gigawatt of transmission and 0.16 gigawatt of power storage. And by 2030, to ensure high generation of high integration of renewables in Vietnam, this country will need to increase its transmission capacity by 40%. This data is from CICC. And what's more, the interconnection between the national grids in ASEAN countries and with China are very limited now. Lack of integrated power connections will increase the risks of power supply and also will increase the cost of power. Yeah, I will answer it for now.
Thank you so much. I think, again, there are a lot of key insights in your intervention and how examples of possible solutions, to these emerging challenges. It's going to be work in progress, but I hope that, as we are in the networking session, perhaps you can explain to those interested in more detail what multilateral efforts are working to address these challenges.
Sure.
Right now, we will invite our fifth panelist, Mr. Puen Pramodinwai. So my question to you is more about, as we talk about emerging risks, there are risks of, people losing their current jobs. Energy transitions are about changes. So the first part is about how can we better prepare ourselves as communities for these transitions? And the second is about how can China-ASEAN promote effective community engagement and social impact with emerging risks? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I'll spend a couple of minutes first talking about Banpu, the company where I'm from. So basically, Banpu is a listed company in Thailand in the energy sector. It has investments in 9 countries spanning the course of mining, conventional energy generation, renewable power, and energy technology, and also gas. Banpu's been in China right now for quite many decades. And our investments here run across the whole range of our portfolio from the Banpu Group. And basically, to address your question about communities and the energy transition, firstly, with the process of the energy transition, I believe that even in the ASEAN-China region or elsewhere, a lot of the discussion here is shaped by the geography of the countries and the areas concerned, as much as it is by the policies and also the investment decisions made by the state sector and the private sector. So this makes it inherently a complex topic in each country, and where there's an interplay of many decision-making processes to achieve a balance between the issues of energy security, the integrity and reliability of the supply chain, their current emissions relative to the climate goals that they have, their energy intensity, their current energy portfolio, or what we call energy mix, and where now as opposed to where they want to be in the future, and also the economic feasibility of any future investment that they do, associated returns that come from that kind of investment. And then lastly, the question of the deployment of related technologies such as energy storage or perhaps grid technologies that would enable further integration of large-scale renewable power. All these issues will come into play when people approach this question of how to manage an energy transition in any country. Now, with regards to communities, just to talk a little bit about Banpu, we are very much engaged with ensuring that our presence in all the markets that we are involved in looks after the communities in which we're involved, and that we assess the impact of all our businesses on the areas in which we invest. And this begins with a process even before the investment and the project development, where we do an environmental impact assessment of what possible factors might be. And once we start investing and working in that area. We implement a strict mitigation plan for any kind of environmental impact that might affect the communities there. And then finally, after operations, we reach out to any communities there with regular corporate social responsibility initiatives and outreach programs, and that's for power generation. I mean, for just another example, for the solar power in our solar farms, you know, being as they are in more rural areas, we always take account of the people living in those areas, the key stakeholders, and in our operating decisions, we always strive to strike a balance between operations and looking after the interests and development of the local area. And finally, you know, back to the matter at hand about communities and how, you know, they can be engaged for enabling the energy transitions, you know, and without getting too technical. Communities really in the region, they can help enable the energy transition in their locales, in their countries, firstly by becoming informed and seeking out further information regarding climate change and ways it can be mitigated, and, you know, and actively pursuing this aim in their daily lives, in their decisions, and raising awareness in the areas where they can speak and inform others around them. This is not to say that in order to pursue energy transition, you know, people have to be environmental activists, but more about being informed about wider issues surrounding the complex topic in their countries and why certain policy planning decisions are made, you know, because this will allow the development of their understanding in this area and allow them to advocate for new pathways and new solutions that may be applicable within the locales where they live and given the situation of the countries that they're located in. It will also provide ground for perhaps great deployment of other unique supporting technologies that might apply in their areas, such as energy storage or carbon capture or energy storage. And finally, recognizing these issues at play and that each country's situation is unique, each country's challenges are unique, is, you know, while pursuing an active interest in this matter is really what will enable people to, in this region, in ASEAN and China, to better leverage their voice in order to shape the discussion and shape any future solutions regarding the energy transition going forward. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I think one of the aspects that's very critical is the extent to which communities demand, you know, cleaner solutions. To what extent are they encouraging the visions that governments on a multilateral level or on the United Nations level we have as governments, that if people become part of that awareness, if, like you said, everyone doesn't need to be an environmental activist. I don't know if anyone in this room is really an environmental activist, raise your hands if you are. But this is a group of people that are conscious, aware, and that will make mindful decisions or promote mindful actions by stakeholders in the future. And I think that's the consciousness that ASEAN, China, or the world at large, especially developing regions, need to work towards. So thank you, and also to elaborate your own work. We have a few minutes, and there also, I would like to probe one question with Dr. Wichai Narongonich, which is on, again, on policy and regulation. You discussed in detail what are your medium and long-term plans about investing in greener energy, supporting the ASEAN vision. But can you talk a bit more about policy regulation and how your work and overall collaborations can be promoted on that front? Thank you.
Would it be possible to share the presentation? So basically, I just would like to reiterate the previous speakers in terms of the challenge, in terms of the policy of the energy securities. So basically, when we try to look at this issue, we need to address the energy trilemma in terms of the equitable, in terms of the secure, and in terms of the sustainable. Based on framework from World Economic Forum, they come up with Energy Transition Index, whereby they try to look at the system performance to address this energy trilemma and also in terms of transition readiness. And based on this, we see the challenge in our region in China in 4 points. The first is the regulation heterogeneity. So it's basically rather different in terms of the willpower of each government and also in terms of the maturities of each countries in terms of the transition score and also in terms of the energy transition index. And as you can see, China is the leader in this field. And we have been leveraging on the technology from China to help improving the energy security and sustainability, at least in Thailand. And also, if we take a look at the key lever that we need to address, at least in short term, that would be on the upper left-hand side. So if we can summarize, basically we need to have the cooperation between the public sector and private sector. So basically the public sector needs to establish integrated transition roadmaps, especially on the carbon market and the ETS for the mandatory carbon emission allowance that be able to connect for the whole regions. And also in terms of new investment into the new grid. And on the other side, on the private sectors, we need to basically take action and put more investment into the high impact solution and also build capability in terms of decarbonization for us and for us, especially for helping our customer to decarbonize. And in terms of the collaborative solution, this is a regional game, so that we need to have a cross-border harmonized standard. In terms of the hard infrastructure, it's going to be renewable grid, and also in terms of the soft infrastructure, it's going to be standard of the taxonomy, so that we be able to invest rationally in terms of the green common taxonomy, and also in terms of the trading scheme, like the carbon credit, the renewable energy certificate, and also in terms of the regional ETS. And hopefully we can come up with a joint green financing initiative, technology sharing, which happened. And we would like to also thank China to helping us scale up and decarbonize our economy in terms of the public-private partnership, similar to the one that I just mentioned, and also in terms of the capability building. And hopefully we can move forward together as a region. And we should have our own standard to help decarbonize the world. Thank you.
I think that warrants a round of applause towards a future where there is unity, supporting each other's goals and promoting China-ASEAN collaboration for a better future. With that, I think Dr. Wichai's closing comments make an ideal conclusion for today's panel discussion, but also an event which is dedicated towards promoting multilateralism, collaboration across public, private stakeholders, awareness, and also understanding that across disciplines, we have people who are journalists, we have people working in finance, working in banks, working in youth organizations, engineers, social scientists. It really doesn't matter what field you come from, but if an aspect of what you're doing can contribute to a greener, more sustainable, better future, then you are a part of that solution. And I'll also quickly add that maybe the part of the world that I come from, which is West of Asia, it's a part of the world where we could use more pragmatic, more effective, more relevant multilateralism. And in a way, really, ASEAN is an example for many other regions in the world to promote an environment where individual countries, despite their individual unique challenges, find themselves in a space where collaboration is encouraged. So for that, really China-ASEAN collaboration is exemplary. We thank our partners today, the Royal Thai Embassy, our colleagues, our speakers, experts, and also everyone present here for making this event possible, and we are confident and hope that you will be part of the process as the dialogue continues. Thank you. Now, over to our host.
Thank you all youngs and seniors panelists. Next, it will be a very brief photo sessions. Yes, we'll take out the chairs, and it will be a collaboration recognitions between Royal Thai Embassy and Center for China and Globalization. Okay, may I invite Mr. Benjamin and Mr. Mike Liu on stage to take a youth empowerment recognition and collaboration photos on stage, please. Please, on stage, please. All right, thank you very much. Okay. Next, can I invite all panelists on stage for a group photo, please? All senior and young panelists, please. Mr. Guo and everyone, please, for the panelists, please. Every speakers, yes. The young panelists can be the first row, and then the senior one can go on stage, please. Michelle can be, yes. The young panelists can be, this one. Okay. Okay. Please, please. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Next will be the networking session. So